Weaponeer here, and we are back with the video series on video how-tos and video related reviews. And this time I'm going to be taking a look at the RODE VideoMic, which is this mic here. This is the microphone I typically use every time I shoot my videos now. And ever since I started using this one, everyone has been saying how much better my audio is. Well, I actually use this one, and I use two microphones. I use this one right here, which sits on the camera, and I use another one right here, the lapel mic. The lapel mic, this is a Audio-Technica lapel mic. This is a XLR wireless, and then that right there goes to an XLR adapter, and the only XLR adapters I use are Studio One. They're better than the Beach Techs. Now, right now I'm using my original XLR adapter. So typically I have the XLR adapter sitting underneath the camera. Well, I've got two of them because I got two XLRs. I just had this one, my old one here, just reworked. I sent it to the Studio One company, and they will, if you have an XLR adapter, they will refurbish it for $25, and they get a whole lot of Beach Techs. And this one right here is over 10 years old, so it's worn out. So they went ahead and they fixed it up, and right now it's working like new. I just don't know what my audio levels are yet, and typically you have to play a little bit and switch your switches around in order to go ahead and get rid of any external buzzing or anything like that. So if there's anything in this video because of that, that's the reason. Because number one, I'm not using my normal mic. I'm using a very old Audio-Technica shotgun mic, and it's a powered mic. And before, I never used it because I never had a shock mount. Man, every time you touched it or moved it or anything like that, you always got feedback. So I just never used it. Now I got a shock mount for that fits on my mic stand, and so that right there is just literally right here. And because I'm using that today, there's going to be a difference in the audio. So this is what I normally use, and I use my lapel. This right here brings out the really good bass in audio, whether it be speech or anything else. And see, my lapel mic, because of the positioning of that, is designed to pick up audio right here. So it's really designed specifically for voice. The only problem is it's a little bit tinny. It doesn't pick up the really good bass. Now this right here is a great microphone. This right here picks up really good bass and everything else. So, but it has some limitations because I can't remotely mount this too easily. And I can now that I got my XLR adapter back, but we'll see how well that works. The biggest deal is this right here normally sits on my camera, and it's got a shock mount on it. That's why you can see it wiggling. Well, it's got a shock mount on here, and the shock mount prevents vibration from reaching the microphone. If vibration reaches the microphone will pick that up, and you'll hear scratching, hissing, and everything else. If you go like that, you will hear that on the mic like mad, and it's really going to be annoying. So by putting a shock mount on, this is a built-in shock mount. This shock mount right here prevents that from happening. It separates the microphone from the camera just by little little rubber pieces here, and almost like little rubber bands, but they're not. And it's got them in front and in back, so that provides that separation, and which gives you better audio. Now this one right here is a powered mic. It takes a 9-volt battery, and initially when I bought this used. I bought this used on eBay, and I was able to save a little money. But when I received it, it didn't have the little rubber bands, which meant it didn't have any support system. It just kind of laid there, and that's not a good way to go ahead and use a microphone. So I went ahead and I looked around, and I couldn't find any of these rubber buffers here, and because of the bands, I couldn't find them. I couldn't replace them. I had initially used just rubber bands, and initially that worked. So I went ahead and I contacted the company, RODE, to see, you know, where I can find these things, and their customer support was very good. Now, considering I didn't buy this new, this has been owned by at least 2 people, probably 3, and yeah, despite all that, RODE was good enough to go ahead and set me up with some replacements on here and get me up and running real quick. I really appreciated that. RODE did a fine job, not only in the design of this microphone and the level of audio you get from it, but also in their level of customer support. Now, when you go outside with something like this, any kind of shotgun microphone, this is the shotgun microphone, which means it picks up whatever it's being pointed at, a very narrow area. And because of that, any kind of microphone going outside, whether it be shotgun or otherwise, you can pick up any kind of wind. And typically when you hear that real wind buffeting sound, and it doesn't matter if it's on a shock system or not, you still get that buffeting sound. Well, in order to get rid of that, what you do is you get yourself one of these. This right here is, this particular one is made in England, but this right here is a dead cat. As the name, it's not a real dead cat, but if this is laying on the floor, it looks like a dead cat, and that's how it got its name. But this right here is the best style of getting rid of all that wind sound. So you can take this in a fairly brisk breeze, and you're not going to get that wind sound. What you will pick up is everything else. So you'll pick up perfect audio without all that buffeting wind and everything else. And this is really easy to install. I don't know if I'll be able to do it here, but all you do is you just take this and you stuff it right over the top of the foam. And since that just slides on there, you end up with that. And it's not, I got a little strap here that wraps around and buttons, but we'll just leave it like this for now. Now that right there keeps all the wind noise when you're outside. So if you're shooting something going on outside, football, basketball, baseball, rifle shooting, any kind of outdoor area where you're going to be taking your camera, this right here will prevent all that wind noise. So unless it's a perfectly calm day, typically they're not, but unless it's a perfectly calm day, this right here is going to save your video. I use this. This is the one I like. But let's say you have a camera that doesn't have a 3.5 millimeter or mini plug. So you can go ahead and add a microphone like this. Well, what you can do is you can go to Walmart or something like that and get some of this fur. And this is really cheap stuff. All you need is just a square of it, and you can take that. You can put a little piece of Velcro or something like that around the microphone hole, and then, or you can just go ahead and take the fur and hot glue it right around the microphone hole, not over the hole. Leave the hole free from any debris, but then just place this right on top of that. So that right there will provide your wind protection for your microphone, and right away you should get really much better audio outdoors. And it's a really good thing to be doing anyway. But if your camera has the ability to take an external microphone, get an external microphone. You're always going to get better audio off of an external microphone. It's just the way it is. Microphones that are built in the cameras are not real good quality, and they're facing the wrong directions. They're omnidirectional, so they pick up sound from everywhere. If you have kids or anything like that, or you just want to go ahead and pick up better audio, you get something like this. This is a shotgun mic, and basically you're picking up the majority of your audio wherever you're pointing it. It's kind of like a shotgun. The shotgun has that pattern. Well, this right here has that pattern as well, and this will pick up the audio out there and not really well over to the side or anything like that. So if you're indoors, you got kids playing, and you're shooting a video, and you don't want like kids or anything else in the background on the video, well, you can use a shotgun mic, and that'll get rid of a lot of that. Really good way of doing it. Also good for road sounds and everything else. If you live next to a road or dogs barking or anything like that, You know, using a directional microphone is the best way of going about it. How much do I like the Rode mic? I really like this. This has been a substantial upgrade for me. I really enjoy it. It makes my audio much better. There is a little thing on here. You've got a hole here, and then you got a hole here, and you got a hole here. That means you can go ahead and take this, and you can move this from here to here to here. You can move it back and forth, which is important because if you have it mounted where it originally is, right here, it sits right over the top of your camera quite a bit. And because of that, you typically see the end of the microphone. But if you take it, unscrew it, and put it here, you're able to go ahead and move the thing back so it sits right here on your camera and you can't see the microphone. Nice little good thing to do. And also you can go ahead and use one or two of these holes here for threading it directly onto a microphone pole or anything like that. Boom pole, anything you want. So there, and this is a cold shoe mount, just in case anybody's wondering. So there you go. That right there is a quick view of the Rode VideoMic. As you can tell by the audio in all my other videos lately, this does have really nice audio. It helps bring more richness in. So when I was using just the lapel mic, quality is not too bad, but it's still nothing like when I combine the lapel mic and this together. I get really decent audio. I don't know how it's doing today because I'm using the old microphone that I haven't used in a really long time, as well as I'm not sure what the settings are on the new XLR adapter. I got it full blast right now, so I don't know if I have to tone it down, if it's clipping or not. I don't know. So there you go. If you have any comments or questions about microphones, especially the Rode, feel free to post them below. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to rate my videos. I'm Weaponeer, and I'll catch you in the next one. What you want? Come on.